Hello everybody, how is it going today? It is Tyler here with Zone In Sports. And in today's video, we will be recapping the Week 7 college football slate. Mostly just going over our picks as I don't want to be here too long today. I felt kind of crappy these last couple of days. Not feeling too good, just no energy, just pretty much drained, man. It's been a long week and did not sleep much at all, and being out in the cold for so long Saturday morning at the tailgate in Ann Arbor, just it beat me up, man. But either way, man, we'll go ahead and get into it and try to go through it kind of quickly, man. It was a pretty good week for our picks, but I started Thursday night with a loss, had Baylor minus 2.5 at West Virginia, and it was looking really good at half. And, well, I shouldn't say really good, but they were up a touchdown at half, and then second half it was all West Virginia, man. Baylor just could not stop them, and they couldn't score enough to keep up. West Virginia ends up winning 43-40. So, yeah, tough loss there to start the week on Thursday night. Then moving to Saturday, might as well start off talking about the game that I was at. You saw my Michigan Wolverines absolutely stomp Penn State, man. This game, the final score, 41-17, doesn't even tell the tale of how badly we beat them. And I'm not even trying to be biased or anything, but any football fan that watched that game, or anyone that's played football or anything like that, like, if you watch that game, like, it was total domination from Michigan offense. They ran for over 400 yards. J.J. McCarthy only 145 through the air, but it's because he didn't have to throw it. You saw Donovan Edwards with 173 yards and 2 touchdowns, and he's our backup. The starter, Blake Corum, 166 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, this game, it was absolutely electric. Had a great time, good maze out. And yeah, it was, I was expecting us to, win the game, but I didn't think that we would smack them like this, man, and did not expect us to score this many points, of course, as our pick on this one was the under 50.5, which it goes ahead and hits, 58? Yeah, so Michigan blew them out. The under, not good at all. I knew I should have just gave out the Michigan spread, but I felt, as a fan, like I would be jinxing my squad by giving them out as a play at minus 6.5, so I just went under, and of course it loses. Still, took Michigan money line or spread or something, and, a couple other parlays and whatnot, but straight pick was the under, and it does not come through. There's a big matchup in the SEC where you saw number 6 Tennessee host number 3 Alabama. And Tennessee got the job done, man. We were on Tennessee plus the 7.5, which actually moved to 8.5 for kickoff. 7.5, 8.5, whatever you wanted to take it at. It was also one of our underdog moneyline sprinkles at plus 250. That came through. Nice win for Tennessee at home, man. That game was nuts. That is for sure. Tennessee's offense, man, continues to show out and look great, even against a team like Alabama with, good defense and whatnot. Alabama's offense definitely was able to keep up, ran the ball very well. Bryce Young being back helped him out a lot, throwing for 455 yards. But in the end, man, Tennessee gets the field goal to win it. And, that atmosphere looked absolutely insane out there. I know they get pretty wild down there at Neyland Stadium. And, yeah, they took the goalpost, took them out of the stadium and threw them in the Tennessee River. That's hilarious. If you didn't see that, definitely make sure you go check that out. I definitely probably retweeted it on our Twitter video of them carrying the goalpost out of the stadium and also dumping it to the river. So pretty funny, that's for sure. But yeah, Tennessee, man, that's huge. I think they had lost 15 straight to Bama, and yeah, they break that streak. They get the win. I believe they're number 3 now in the rankings. So see if they keep on winning. Clemson gets the win, 34-28 over Florida State. Now, we had Clemson minus the 3.5, and it was looking great all game. And then that fourth quarter got kind of sketchy where you saw Florida State score 14 and Clemson didn't score at all. But, they had built a good enough lead to hold on and win 34-28, and they cover for us, so that was very nice. Utah with the big home victory over number 7 USC, 43-42. They come back with a late drive at the end, get the touchdown, and they say, screw going to overtime. We're going for 2. And they got it. They got the 2-point conversion, took the 1-point lead, and were able to hold on for the 43-42 victory. Now, we had USC plus 3.5, which, of course, that comes through. They only lost by 1. But it was one of our underdog moneyline sprinkles as well. It would have been very nice if they held on to the victory there. We were really close on a lot of our underdog moneyline sprinkles this week, that is for sure. But nevertheless, USC plus 3.5 comes through. Their offense continues to look good. Much better in the first half than the second. Utah's defense was able to adjust and start to slow down that USC passing attack. Plus, I think Jordan Addison got hurt. So once he was out, that definitely did not help. But yeah, huge day for Rising, the Utah QB, 415 yards, 2 touchdowns. 234 of those yards were to his tight end, Kincaid. 16 catches, 234 yards, and a touchdown. That's nuts. That dude's going to be playing on Sundays in the next couple of years, that is for sure. Then we move on to another top 25 matchup. In the Big 12, we saw number 13 TCU get a nice home victory in double overtime over Oklahoma State, 43-40. And yet again, we hit the straight pick of Oklahoma State plus 3.5, but another underdog money line sprinkle that lost. And they blew it. They were up pretty big, but they gave up 14 in the fourth quarter without scoring themselves at all. So TCU able to come back late, force that overtime, and they got the job done, going to 2 OTs and getting that victory. Definitely, I didn't even feel great about this pick, but when I saw Oklahoma State was up by like 20 at one point, I'm like, all right, we should be good, right? And yeah, we still cover the plus 3.5, a nice little straight play. But I love when them underdog money line sprinkles come through, man. I really needed it, but oh well. Ole Miss comes through for us. I believe we took on minus 13.5 on the alternate line. That's why you take alternates. I believe they were 14 flat or 14.5 when I did the video last week. But they go on and win by 14, so they cover that minus 13.5 straight play that we gave out, and it was still solid value on that alternate line, minus 138. And nice little two winners on this next game. Another top 25 matchup in the ACC here. You had number 18 Syracuse hosting number 15 NC State, and Syracuse got the win, 24-9. Their defense stood tall against the backup quarterback. NC State just could not move the ball, man. It's going to be a tough end of the year for them without Devin Leary. But yeah, so we had the under of 42.5, so it hits 33, so under hits pretty easily. And then we also ended up adding the Syracuse minus 2.5 on the alternate line. That came through easily as well. So yeah, man, I like the Syracuse team a lot. If you've listened to us before, you know that Syracuse is a team that I'm like always on those last couple of years. Pretty much take them every week, and even when they lose, they'll make up for it by covering the next 3 or 4 straight for you. So yeah, we'll probably look to continue to take Syracuse throughout this season. Another top 25 matchup, this one in the SEC. Did not have a straight play on it, but it was a big game, and Will Levis ended up playing. So that definitely probably changed things a little bit. But either way, regardless of him playing or not, Kentucky's defense looked very good. I expected Mississippi State to score some more points. I know Kentucky has a good defense and all that, but Mississippi State's been scoring against a lot of teams that have good defenses. So yeah, that's why we gave out the over for teaser consideration only. It was not a straight play. And when I gave it out, the over was set at 48.5. So if you tease that down to like 42 or 43 like we said, then you would have been good and it would have hit for you because it hit 44. But when I went to make my parlays, by the time it was like Saturday morning, they had already moved that total up even more to 50.5. So I only went down to 45.5 on it, or 44.5, and of course it's 44. So tough loss on that teaser consideration there, but nice victory there for Kentucky. Get back on track, get Levis back in there, and get a nice home victory. Saw number 19 Kansas go to Norman, Oklahoma, and lose. Huge scoring game here. offensive showdown. Oklahoma won 52-42. Getting Dylan Gabriel back was huge for them. And yeah, I mean, this is pretty much what I expected. Maybe not as many points from Oklahoma, but I expected it to be high scoring. Both teams do not have good defense. And I like Kansas, man. They covered for us, though. They obviously were one of our underdog money line sprinkles, but did not come through. No big deal. But plus 10.5. Remember, they were like plus 9, 9.5, and we gave out plus 10.5 on the alt line. That's why I always tell you there's these key numbers in football betting, man. That's why if you're only buying a point, even 2 points sometimes, as long as the value's decent enough still, you got to do it, man. Like Kansas plus 10.5, minus 140. So not the greatest value, but I'll give out anything better than minus 160. And hey, if you took the plus 9, you would have lost. So buy them points, man. It's a smart thing to do. Moving on, another Big 12 matchup. Texas gets a nice, tough victory at home, 24-21 over Iowa State. I definitely thought Texas would win this a lot more easily. Like, Robinson, he had 135 rushing yards. He continues to have great yardage games, but they just couldn't really finish drives. Didn't score at all in the first quarter. Ewers, he had a good game and all. I just expected them to score a little bit more points. Not a whole lot more. Iowa State does have a good defense. That is the one bright spot of their team. But yeah, if anything, maybe Iowa State shouldn't have scored as much as they did. But either way, man, I think we just gave out Texas for teaser consideration only. Yeah, that's right. It was minus 15.5, so I told you guys take them down to like minus 9 or minus 10. And of course, that does not come through. I personally, in parlays, if you saw them, we post them on Twitter, did take Texas double result, which that hit. And, it was, not good value, of course, but like I said, it's teaser consideration. We put these in parlays that, we lay juice in and just try to play it safe. But I hate that word playing it safe because nothing's really safe in gambling, man, or else it wouldn't be gambling. Tough loss here, man. Illinois beats Minnesota 26-14. Definitely did not expect Tommy DeVito to play. I mean, look at Chase Brown. He continues to have an insane year. 41 carries, man, for 180 yards. I'm sorry, but you should not be giving this guy 41 carries. Like, you're just asking for something bad to happen. Like, I could see him getting 30 plus for sure. Yeah, it's college, young guy. Like, feed him. He's the number one running back in the country yardage-wise right now. But 41 carries, you got to have another guy or two that you can spell in there every once in a while. If you want to keep giving him 40 carries, he's going to end up hurt. Like, I'd be very surprised if he keeps up that volume of carries and stays healthy. Like, I hate saying that, but just like, come on. You can't give a guy 41 carries. That's ridiculous. But either way, we had the under of 39.5 in this game, and the total hits 40. So we lose by half a point on this one. But yeah, like I said, did not expect Tommy DeVito to play. If I knew he was going to play, then I probably would have took Illinois plus the points. No, I did not really see. It was kind of hard for me to stay updated Saturday morning, as I wasn't really on my phone much and didn't really have the best service as I was out in Ann Arbor tailgating, probably from like 8 in the morning all the way up till kickoff, of course. But yeah, if I knew DeVito was playing, I probably would have took Illinois plus the points. I'm sure the spread probably moved, but it probably didn't get any better than like a pick 'em. Either way, I would have been on Illinois. And yeah, if he doesn't play, this under should definitely hit, I would think. But it goes over by half a point. Tough loss. One of very few losses, by the way. I will mention, did not have a pick on this one, but number 25, James Madison, first year as a Division I FBS school. In the last video, I said they should not have been this nice to them. They should not have made it this easy for them to get in the top 25 year one. They only won their first 5 games. And what do they do here? They lose to Georgia Southern. Now, Georgia Southern, they're a decent Sun Belt squad. But James Madison, man, did not deserve to be ranked, and I don't think that they will enter the top 25 again, even if they win the rest of their games. They should not have done that. The poll committees should not have done that. That is for sure. I think they'll still be fine and whatnot, but I'm just not surprised they lost. It's the old it's like a curse, man. Teams that enter the top 25 that aren't normally there, usually lose right away and drop right back out. Coastal finally gets their first loss of the season, man. They got whooped at home by Old Dominion, 49-21. Very surprised about that. Did not have a pick on that game at all, luckily, because I probably would have gave out Coastal as like a teaser consideration or something, but I just did not mess with it. Did not expect Old Dominion to whoop them like that, but that was kind of crazy. Let's see what else. Cal, man, this was a big loss for me. California, man. Did not give out a straight pick on that game, but I gave them out as a teaser consideration. The line was around like minus 14.5, 15.5, so I said, take them around like minus 9 or something like that. And yeah, they did not score in the entire first half. They ended up going to overtime with Colorado and losing 20-13 to give Colorado their first victory of the season. Now, Cal is a team that I wasn't high on going into the year at all, and I don't think that they're a good team by any means, but definitely a better team than Colorado, and a team that I thought would have beat them by at least 2 scores. And instead, they go to overtime and lose. I had Cal minus 9 on 2 parlays that lost by just that leg. One was a 9 leg, and another was a 6 leg. Ultimately, Cal screwed me out of like $700 or $800. So, for the rest of the year, we will most likely be looking to fade them or just staying away from their games. Because, I mean, how do you lose this game? I'll just move on. That blows my mind, man. I'll mention real quick, obviously no pick on this one. Very surprising. Liberty only beat Gardner-Webb 21-20. Gardner-Webb only has 2 wins on the season. Liberty is 6-1. And they beat Gardner-Webb by 1. Now, maybe something happened in this game with injuries or something that I don't know about, but I don't care enough to look into it. I just thought it was crazy, and I'd mention it. Liberty only beats Gardner-Webb 21-20. Crazy. But either way, another nice win on a straight pick here for us. Arkansas plus 1.5 at BYU. Yeah, they whooped them, man, 52-35. Now, I did not think that they would score that many points, but KJ Jefferson being back was huge, man. 367 pass yards. 5 passing touchdowns. The running back Sanders, 175 yards on just 15 carries and 2 rushing touchdowns for him as well. So their offense, man, they run the ball very well, and they did that in this matchup. They were just able to outscore BYU. BYU, they kept it close, somewhat close most of the time. It's just a big second quarter, scoring 24 from Arkansas, basically the difference here. Yeah, they closed it out in the fourth. They scored 7, BYU with nothing. So 52-35, nice easy victory for Arkansas. Plus 1.5 comes through for us. Oh, Eastern Michigan money line, man. My Eagles let us down. They were looking okay this year, not great by any means, but they were 4-2 going into this game, where Northern Illinois was 1-5. And somehow Northern Illinois finds a way to put up 39 points. And Eastern Michigan only scored 10. Now, one thing that did help for Illinois is Rocky Lombardi was back for them, and he had been out. But at the same time, they didn't even throw that much. 11-15 for 115 yards for him. They just ran very well. 158 yards and a touchdown for Whaley. 86 yards and 2 touchdowns for Brown. Yeah, very surprised. There must have been some turnovers or something. Yeah. Eastern's quarterback threw an interception. He was under 50% completion percentage. They also lost a fumble. One of the running backs, Jalen Jackson. So, yeah, that's pretty much why it happened. And the interception was a pick 6 as well. So, okay, I understand the score now, but that's just wild. I don't know, man. You got to defend that home turf, man. The gray turf. You got to defend it better. The factory. People don't know about the factory. Then this is probably why you decide to let Northern Illinois come in and get their second win of the year after being on a 5-game losing streak and whoop you 39-10. Absolutely crazy, man. Very surprised at this. I mean, even with Lombardi being back in their offense, running very well, Their defense had gave up 38, 38, 31, 44, and 52 this year, and 27 to Eastern Illinois to start the year. I mean, how does Eastern only score 10? Even with the 2 turnovers, you got to find a way to at least score 3 or 4 times. I don't know. I probably shouldn't have went on this long about Eastern Michigan, but hey, man, I went there back in the day, so I always like to mention them, especially since, of course, we picked them. Clowns showed up, of course. We'll move on to a better MAC performance from Toledo, as they cover that -6.5 for us very easily. It was actually close. They was down at the half, man. 31-28, they were down. But they absolutely went off in the second half. Defense shut out Kent State after a terrible first half. And they go on to win 52-31, covering that spread for us easily. Daquan Finn, man, their quarterback, he's from Detroit. He threw 6 touchdowns on only 16 completions. So that's over a third of his completions being a touchdown. Yeah, they looked good, man. Their offense is nice, man. They always like to put up a lot of points. Been on them the last couple of years, and I'll continue to take Toledo going forward. I will mention very surprising loss here for Wisconsin, as Michigan State was able to beat them in overtime. They go to 2 OTs, and Michigan State wins 34-28. Definitely surprised about that one. Both those teams kind of stink right now, so see how they do going forward. Another nice victory on a straight bet. Tulane -11.5. We've been on them most of the year. USF, they've played a couple teams tight that I didn't expect them to, but other than that, they have not been good. They still just have 1 win on the year. Tulane improves to 6-1 now and enters the top 25 polls, ranked 25th now. But yeah, -11.5, nice hit there for us with Tulane. Another nice hit. We take Arizona +14.5 at Washington. And they only lose by 10, 49-39 victory for Washington. So Arizona covers for us. I expected a lot of points in this game, and it was just a matter of if Arizona could keep up to cover that for us, and they were able to do so. Definitely nice to see. Washington's offense, man, they'll continue to do good, but their defense, man, they got to figure some things out if they want to become relevant in the Pac-12 anytime soon. I will mention this Rice-Florida Atlantic game, as Rice was not a pick that I had as far as like a straight pick or a teaser consideration. Had I gave it out that way, it would have hit, as they were getting 3.5. They covered that, but all I did with them was give them out as an underdog moneyline sprinkle. And again, they blow it. All of our underdog moneyline sprinkles were winning and blew it, other than Kansas, who was pretty much trying to catch up the whole time. And then Tennessee, came through for us, but Oklahoma State and USC, who we already went over, had nice leads and blew it and lost. Rice also, they scored 14 points in the first quarter and then nothing the rest of the game. Florida Atlantic finds a way to come back and win 17-14. So another tough loss on the underdog moneyline sprinkle. LSU, man, wins a high-scoring battle with Florida, 45-35. We only gave out LSU as a teaser consideration. They were getting 2.5, so anything you teased him up to, he was good to go. Didn't even have to tease him. Could have took him as an underdog money line. They get the victory there. I think they'll be all right to end the year here. I think they definitely will give at least 2-3 more wins, where Florida, it's just crazy. You see them beat a good Utah team week 1, and then since then they've just looked like crap, which is what I kind of expected from them this year. Like, I thought they'd be, around a 500 team, which they're still looking to be, but only 1-3 in SEC play. Definitely be watching Florida these next couple of weeks to see how they bounce back. The Notre Dame and Stanford under was very easy, under 54.5 on that one. And Stanford actually went to Notre Dame and won 16-14 to get their second win of the season. Another bad loss for this Notre Dame team this year, man. I don't even know what to say, man. You can't lose this game, especially at home. So, yeah, the under hit's easy. We did give out Notre Dame as a teaser consideration, so obviously that did not come through, as they just couldn't do anything. Just 2 little touchdowns in the second half. Other than that, yeah, they could not do anything, man. Stanford, Gets a touchdown first quarter, hits a few field goals in each quarter after that to get that victory, man. Nice hit on the under, though, for us. Purdue beats Nebraska 43-37. We only gave out Purdue as a teaser consideration, and they were minus 13.5, so depending on how you want to look at it or how you took it, if you took double result, easily came through. If you teased that 13.5 down, you would have had to have went to 5.5 for it to hit or 6 for a push. So I don't know if I would have went down that far, but either way, Purdue gets the victory. Wow, I didn't even see this. East Carolina-Memphis game went to 4 overtimes. East Carolina winning 47-45. I ended up not having a pick on that game. I probably would have took Memphis if they didn't screw me the week before. They definitely covered, but crazy game, man. 4 OTs. North Carolina, man, had them minus 6.5. That is one of our few losses on straight plays this week. They do get the victory 38-35 over Duke, but we're unable to cover that minus 6.5 for us. Yeah, their defense just not good, man. Not surprised that they gave up this many points. I just thought that they would score more than 38, to be honest with you. Either way, nice win for them, but got to cover that spread for us, man. Come on. And our last straight pick of the week was Fresno State team total under 18.5. I believe it even moved to 19.5 before kickoff, but either way, under 18.5 hits. They actually go on to win the game, which I was very surprised about. They are without their starting quarterback, and that is the main reason why I was on their team total under. He actually ended up doing pretty well, 22 of 32, 230 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. And that pick didn't hurt him, obviously, as they go on to win 17-10. So we did have San Jose State as a teaser consideration. They were minus 8.5, so I said, take them like minus 2.5 or double result or something. And yeah, they won the first half, but they couldn't score anything in the second half, and Fresno State goes on to win 17-10. But either way, nice team total under 18.5 hits for us. And I didn't put it on the graphic, but also Hawaii gets their second win on the year, beating Nevada 31-16. Definitely not a game that I would mess with. Those two teams both stink. So before we get out of here, I will mention a couple other of the teaser considerations. We considered the Bama and Tennessee over, which was like 66.5. So you didn't even have to take it down, and it hit easy. Michigan minus 7 was one of our teaser considerations. That hit super easy, didn't even have to move it. Also, LSU, like I just mentioned not too long ago, that didn't even have to move that spread. The Oklahoma State TCU over, didn't have to move that either. That hits easy. But yeah, man, that's pretty much gonna do it. Yeah, I don't know if you were keeping track, but those straight picks this week, 14-5, man. 14-5. That's felt really good. It was my best week yet this year. Yet I didn't even make money because my stupid self had Cal and too many parlays, and they screwed us, man. I think we had another one that missed by 1. It was someone else other than Cal. I can't remember what it was. It's probably that under on that stupid Minnesota-Illinois game. I want to go over by half a point. Either way, man, it was a good week straight pick-wise. My parlays all lost, unfortunately. So what could have been a very, very huge weekend for us ended up not being so great. Like, if I just take those straights, man, and just mix and match them, I would have definitely hit multiple parlays. But seems like I always find a way to spread out the losses. Like, the Minnesota-Illinois under was one of my favorite picks of the week. North Carolina minus 6.5 didn't even hurt us because in parlays I took a money line. And then, like, Eastern Michigan money line, only had them in 1. But, like, that Cal, man, they weren't even a straight pick, just a teaser consideration. And they screwed us big time, man. Yeah. It's tough going 14-5 and not really making much money. Got to be smarter about the way I make these parlays. I'm thinking next week I'm going to try to do less legs. I'll still, of course, have a couple that are like 6 to 8 legs where we, lay minus 400 money lines and stuff like that. Like, that'll happen. That's the only reason why I ever end up with that many legs anyways, is because I'm going with that word again that I don't like, safe. Putting up air quotes, you can't see me, but yeah. Either way, man, we'll hope to have another smash weekend next week with the straight picks, man. Like I said, 14-5, man. That's very, very good. Definitely, good weekend, man. We look to do just as good, if not even better, in week 8, man. And I don't have any picks on any of the early games. Usually at the end of this, that's when I'll go over my picks for the games that are before Saturday. I will go over a couple of the lines. Wednesday night, you start with Georgia State, Appalachian State, and I'm not touching that at all. I would say Appalachian State all the way, but after they lost that game to Texas State a couple of weeks ago, I kind of just got to watch and see what this App State team does. South Alabama, I do think that they will beat Troy, but I would not lay 3.5. Minus 156 is not terrible value on the money line there. And then Georgia Tech also 3.5, would not lay it, but minus 152 money line for them over Virginia. I might end up doing like a little 2-leg, like South Alabama and Georgia Tech money line that night, but I'm not doing anything official yet, so you'll have to follow us on Twitter at ZoneInSports. Remember, that link is in the description of every video. Just follow us over there. You'll see updates on our picks, parlays posted. I've also been posting plenty of like NBA and NHL, other sports that I definitely, they're playing every day, so it's much harder to do videos on those. It'd be different if I didn't have a full-time job. I could definitely do it, but yeah, so that's why, you're not seeing videos on other sports yet. Just football, it's easier to do that, just week by week. But just remember, follow us on Twitter. I will update if we end up taking any of these early games or what sort of plays we do. And then there's a couple games Friday as well. I'm actually considering Temple plus the 13.5 as they host Tulsa. Now, Temple just got absolutely destroyed by UCF last week. But I think they could look to bounce back here against a Tulsa team that I definitely like this Tulsa team, but their defense is not good. Definitely not against the run. So, I'll have to do, look more into it. And, if I find, a nice angle, I might end up being on Temple plus that 13.5. And also UAB, Western Kentucky. If UAB was at home, I'd be all over them. But with it being at Western Kentucky, I'm not sure really which way I will go with this one. It's just a tough, Conference USA, man, is so tough. These teams will beat each other every other week. Team A beats Team B, who beats Team C, which lost to Team A, or I don't know how I said that. Either way, you get what I'm saying. I was thinking maybe the over 57.5 for UAB Western Kentucky, but like I said, nothing official yet for the early picks. Just figured I'd go over those games that are before Saturday. And follow us on Twitter at ZoneInSports. I will update if we end up picking any of those games officially, or, if I end up with a couple of small parlays on them, or whatever we end up doing, it'll be posted over there. But yeah, that's going to do it. We'll go ahead and wrap it up. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And have a nice day. Peace.